except 3 or 4 were incorrect. So those which were incorrect, I just informed them that their answers are not correct, and the ones which were correct, I did not respond. I was just waiting to see how people are responding, because they must have certainly analyzed it. Either they must have analyzed it or they must have read it earlier, whatever be the case. But their way of expression, their way of answering was excellent, was very good, except in 2-3 cases to which I have responded. I have just written that the answers were incorrect. Now we proceed to the break-even analysis concept that we started discussing since yesterday. So I had explained to you in this slide the meaning of break-even, various names by which it is known, and why is it known. Why do we call it operating leverage? Why do we call it cost, volume, and profit analysis? Why do we call it BEP, etc., etc.? What does it mean? What are the assumptions? So we were here when I left the class yesterday. Before I move on to this part, before I go on to explain to you how do we calculate it, you must have learned this in managerial economics class also. So it will not take much time. It will take less time because you must be familiar with the concept to some extent. So I'll start showing you the calculations, but before I do that, let me know if you have any questions. Are there any questions, or should I proceed? Yes. If there are no questions, I can proceed. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, fine. Meaning were explained, assumptions were explained. These assumptions I have written also here. Yesterday, you must have noted down with your pen and pencil, pen and paper. Now, constant sales price was one of the assumptions. Constant variable cost was another one. No closing stock was yet another one. And constant sales mix was yet another one. Now we come to the calculation part. How do we decide? Yesterday, with the help of an imaginary figure, you said that if the BEP is so and so, so and so, it means so and so. Now, how do we calculate? It can be calculated in 3 different ways. 4.1, we can calculate BEP in number of units. 4.2, we can calculate BEP in rupees or any currency. Next, we can calculate BEP graphically also. We can calculate BEP graphically also, 4.3. So 4.1, BEP can be calculated in terms of units. That is, we may calculate certain number of units and inform the user if your sales volume reach these many units, you will break even. BEP in rupees, if you can sell for these many rupees, if your sales volume, if your sales turnover is so much, you will reach break-even level. A graph can also be made, and graph will suggest that at this level the firm will break even. So let us take up each one by one. In order to calculate break-even in units, the formula is fixed cost is divided by contribution margin. There are 2 words which are used in this analysis, break-even analysis: contribution margin. Look at this word which I am highlighting, and the other word is contribution ratio. Contribution margin and contribution ratio. One I am highlighting in red. So you must be clear about the difference between the two. So in case we wish to calculate, there are certain perhaps message. Okay, there are now in these two you must differentiate. So first I am explaining you the meaning of contribution margin. What is contribution margin? Next line I have written: per unit sales price minus per unit variable cost. That is the difference between sales price and variable cost. Sales price and variable cost is known as your contribution margin. Let us assume that sales price of a product is rupees 10, its variable cost is rupees 6, and its fixed cost is rupees 10,000. I have been assuming this data for the simplicity of calculations only, so that you don't require to put in a calculator or Excel sheet and all. Using this formula, we arrive at a figure of units 2,500. How would you explain this? First of all, I hope the calculation is clear. It's fairly simple. I repeat, fixed cost when divided by contribution margin, you get break-even. Break-even in units. What is contribution margin? Fixed cost, unit sales price minus unit variable cost. What is the formula? Fixed cost divided by contribution margin. In the given example, your sales price is 10, variable cost is 6, so naturally contribution margin will be rupees 4. When 10,000 is divided by 4, that answer is simple 2,500. How do you interpret this answer? That you have already done yesterday. Can anyone repeat today also? Yes. Can anyone of you repeat what does it mean, the answer that you have calculated?
Sir, the answer was that for reaching the break-even point, we have to sell 2,500 units at a price of rupees 10 per piece.
Any other answer? Yes, any other answer? No, several of you are present. Let someone else also answer. Okay. This being the case, has everybody written his or her roll number in the chat box? If not, kindly write it now immediately. Please write your roll number if you have not written. Okay. Now I need an answer from Sumayya Ikram. Sumayya, can you explain it?
Sir, I didn't get it.
Say it again. You are not audible, Sumayya.
Sir, I didn't get it.
Okay. Okay. Tausif?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain this 2,500?
Yes, sir. I explained earlier that for reaching the value of break-even point, we have to sell 2,500 units at a price of rupees 10 per piece.
Perhaps it seems to be a bit short of complete answer. Let me have it from Sana Fatma.
So I was absent yesterday, unfortunately.
Okay. Zishan? Okay, perhaps Zishan.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Zishan.
So I haven't understood properly. That's it.
Now here is one more question from you, Zishan. If you have not understood properly, why you did not seek a clarification from me? At least answer this question, Zishan.
Yes, sir.
See, each class I start, somehow it is programmed here. Somehow it is, a kind of a programmed this thing in my mind. Whenever a next session is started, I ask you any clarification required in the previous session. If not you only, Zishan, anyone else who did not understand, I should have asked. Anyway, how about you, Kashifullah? Can you explain?
So can I explain?
Okay, go ahead.
Sir, if a company is able to produce and sell 2,500 units, and then it will be in a condition of no profit and no loss, and we will call it break-even.
Got it. This is the correct way of saying. Why was I asking it again and again? Because if somebody say company sells 2,500 units, the answer is partly correct. Why is it partly correct? Can anyone tell me? The answer earlier, somebody, perhaps Razeen or Tausif, provided that if company can sell 2,500 units, it is break even. It will break even. I'm saying the answer is partly correct. Now, can somebody tell me why is it partly correct answer?
So because it does not tell that what is break even.
Say it again, Kanishka. Say it again, Kanishka.
So because it does not tell that what is break even point.
Okay, fine. Any other answer?
The company might
Okay, Aisha, go on. The company
might have produced more than
yes,
25,000.
correct. The company might have produced more. In this case, if we only say that the company, if the company is able to sell 2,500 units, we will be missing one of the important assumptions, and that may create a problem because company might have produced 3,000 units. In such a scenario, the profitability calculation will be disturbed. Naturally, if you put up a wrong data, the decision will be wrong. What could be the consequences of giving a partly correct answer? The owner may feel that we have covered all expenses. Nothing to worry, at least we are not in loss. But the company would definitely be in a loss because the goods have been produced and not sold. The total cost will be more than total revenue, and the businessman will take a wrong decision. Why will he take a wrong decision? Because we as a manager have provided him with wrong data. Same thing, if you can recall, that was discussed on day 1. Wrong calculation will lead to wrong decision. Wrong decision will lead to deterioration or erosion of wealth of the businessman. So this is how okay. Now let us move. Once you have understood the concept, let us move. Now break even is 2,500 unit. Your calculations, you have understood very correct. Before I move on to calculating break even in rupees, I pose before you another question. How are you calculating break even? Per unit sales price minus per unit variable cost gives you contribution margin. Here I have assumed sales price 10, variable cost 6. I am writing a question in the chat box. So first let me explain to you the question, that then I will write in the chat box. Suppose this data is reversed. This data that is reversed means how much sales price become?
6.
6. And what becomes, what is your variable cost?
10.
10. What 10. 10, correct. What will happen to break even? What will happen to break even? What will be the break even level?
Value would be negative.
How do we interpret negative?
Loss.
No, not merely loss. How would you? Let us say your answer is, I am writing it. If current data is reversed, what will be the answer? And answer you have said correctly, minus 2,500. But more importantly, it's interpretation. What will be its interpretation? Your answer is correct. Okay. Let us not spend time on this here. I have just already posted the question in the chat box. You think over it. We will discuss it later. I am just leaving you for a thought. In case this is the situation, how do we interpret the answer? Let us now move on to the calculation. No. Before I do that, use your pen and paper and verify if the answer is correct. Can you verify this answer? See, you have calculated at 2,500 units firm will break even. You have also rightly interpreted also. Can you verify that your calculation is correct. How do we verify it?
So you multiply 2,500 units with variable cost and add fixed cost to it,
Okay.
and if that value is equal to sales price into number of units sold, or sales price into 2,500 units, if that is equal.
Absolutely right. Or maybe you have rightly said, maybe it can also be said in this way. The break even, as we know, is equal to total cost is equal to total sales revenue. What is our total sales revenue? So total sales revenue is number of units sold multiplied by per unit sales price. So 2,500 times 10 is equal to 25,000. So this is your sales revenue. Now what is total cost? Total cost is equal to fixed cost plus variable cost. Fixed cost we know is 10,000. What is variable cost? Variable cost is equal to total variable cost is equal to per unit variable cost multiplied by number of units sold. So we are selling 2,500 units. Each unit we are producing at rupees 6. So 6 into 2,500 will be your total variable cost. So 6 multiplied by 2,500 means 15,000. So 15,000 is your variable cost, 10,000 is your fixed cost. So total cost becomes 25,000. So total cost and total revenue are equal mathematically. Therefore, our answer is correct. Therefore, we have verified that our calculations are correct. So this is how. But at the same time, if not now, we will save some time. If not now, once the class is over, later on, wherever I have written, use your pen and etc. Do it immediately so that you feel satisfied. Let us go to calculation of BEP in rupees. How do we calculate BEP in rupees? Is equal to fixed cost divided by contribution ratio. Earlier, what was the word? Contribution margin. Here, what is the word? Contribution ratio. In short, you can write CR. How do we calculate first CR? CR is equal to 1 minus variable cost divided by sales price. You take a ratio of variable cost and sales price. That answer you subtract from 1. You get contribution ratio. Now, what is variable cost? 6. What is sales price? 10. So 6 divided by 10 gives you 0.6. When 0.6 is subtracted from 1, you get 0.4. In this example, I have written also, when variable cost is divided by sales price, you get 0.6. When 0.6 is wrongly written, 0.6. When 0.6 is subtracted, you get 0.4. So now when 10,000 is divided by 0.4, you get 25,000 rupees. So this is how BEP can be calculated in, not in units, but in rupees. Now, is this calculation which is given here, 25,000, where currently the cursor, is this calculation also clear to you, or it is not clear to some or a few of you? Whosoever has not understood, let me ask him which variables that you have now with you? How many total variables are to be plotted on a graph? What is the total data? You have units, correct? sorry, not units. You have fixed cost, then you have
Revenue.
variable cost, then you have
Sales price.
sales price. So you have fixed cost, you have variable cost, you have sales price. What are you aiming at?
Break even point.
Break even. What is break even? Total cost is equal to total revenue. So you need to plot two curves. One is total revenue,
Revenue.
one is total cost at various level of units. At various levels of unit. So you have two axes, X and Y. On which unit, on which axis you will plot unit, and on which axis you will record the data of cost and revenue. Although I have written here, plot number of unit on X and plot cost data and revenue data on unit Y. Any logic for this? Can you take out your pen and a paper? Quickly draw a graph, just X and Y. On Y, cost and revenue. On X, number of units. Can any one of you tell me why are we drawing number of units on X?
Sir, because mostly independent variable are on dependent variable is on y-axis.
Okay. The logic refers to logic is dependent on logic depends on the which unit or which particular data is dependent and which one is independent. So your cost will be dependent on units. Therefore, you are writing units on x-axis. Correct. If you draw using various number of units, maybe 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, up to 5,000, and draw the cost data, your fixed cost curve will be straight. Your total cost curve will be in the form of this angle. And when both the curves will cut each other, that will be your distance. I have written here, using your notebook and pen, draw a graph showing calculations of BEP. Assume any data of your choice. Now you need not to calculate the data that is 10, 6 and 10,000. Any data of your choice. You can assume sales price is 100, variable cost is 90 or 80 or anything, and fixed cost of any choice, and draw a chart, draw a graph. Then at the same time, don't do it now, do it once the class is over, but keep this ready in the notebook in which you are making accounting related notes. But you must draw a graph so that you know how to do it, and you also remember how to calculate units. If you draw the same chart, that is using sales price as 10, variable cost as 6, and fixed cost as 10,000, you would notice that your two curves will cut each other at 2,500 unit and at a cost of 25,000 or at a revenue of 25,000. Now, before I explain to you managerial uses, I'll stop here for a minute or two and ask you, of the three methods that we have just now learned to calculate, which one will be the most beneficial for decision making? Units, rupees, or graph?
So graphical.
Okay. Any reason why would the graphical be more useful?
Because it is easy to find out that what is going on.
Because we can.
So the intersection of the 2 points will tell us the break-even point.
Okay. Any other
The
reason?
interpretation is easy.
interpretation will be easy. Okay. Any other reason?
It will help. It will help in decision getting. It will help in fast decision making.
Okay.
Decision can be taken quickly.
Okay. Okay. Any other answer?
Sir, because it include all the parameters.
Okay, it will clear all the parameters. Okay. Okay. Now if not, you can assume the you can imagine. You will make the graph later because I just want to save time, and instead of asking you to do it here itself, I'm just trying to save the time. See, you can visualize a graph. So you will see one or the two curves intersecting each other. You can visualize a graph, and you can see two curves intersecting each other. You can also visualize the point where these two curves meet each other. Now, if you look at the area above the intersection point and also look at the area below the intersection point, what do you observe? What do you visualize? Area above the intersection point and area below the intersection point.
Sir, trend will change, sir.
Sorry?
The trend will change.
Trend. Okay, trend will change. Fine. Any other observation?
So it will tell us about profit and loss. Above is profit, below is loss.
Okay. Any other answer? Laiba Khan.
Yes, sir.
Any other comment? No issue. Hamza Mashood.
Oh.
You wanted to say something, Laiba?
No, sir.
Okay. Hamza? Hamza Mashood. क्या चाय वाय पीने चले गए भाई? I think I need now. It's almost over. We hardly have another 4 or 5 classes. Otherwise, I would have assigned one of you this responsibility of calling them every now and then. See, this is, it will not affect me at all. It will affect you. Later on, you will ask this you didn't understand, this you were not able to, answer. If the same question is asked in the examination or in the Viva, how would you be able to answer? And the classroom or universities or colleges, the schools, etc., have been in existence since the civilization. Otherwise, those people were not lesser intelligent. They would have introduced the concept of, distance learning, and maybe using books and understanding. There would have been no need of interaction with teacher. There would have been no concept called school or college or physical availability of these resources. It was not required. The world would have been a much economical place. Why should government spend huge crores and thousands of crores of rupees on this, making a grand building, paying salaries to teacher? You write a book, a student will read, write examination, and enough. Interaction has no substitute. Now, all right, the answer is still partly correct. You will be in a position to answer it much better if you have a chart in front of you. I'll try to get one tomorrow and explain. We move on to the next part of our discussion. Next part of our discussion is managerial uses of break-even analysis. You have known the concept. You have known how to calculate. Now, in what different ways can this concept be used? So this is at point number 5. I have written 4, 5 under this heading: 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 5.4 perhaps, and 5.5. 5.1 is this, managerial uses. 5.2 is change in price. 5.3 is make and buy. 5.4 should be sorry, it is continuing. 5.3 is continuing. So I have written here also it continues. Okay. Then 5.4 equipment selection. But okay, these are a few uses of managerial analysis that I have, BEP analysis that I have mentioned. Let us start with those uses one by one. First uses, managerial uses में safety margin or margin of safety. Managerial calculation of break-even analysis helps us in deciding the margin of safety. When I say margin of safety, we mean to what extent is the firm safe avoiding losses. What is the safety cover? You know, if you are selling for rupee, if you are selling 10,000 units and your break-even level is 5,000, so at least you are selling more than double to avoid loss. So if a percentage is given or can be calculated, it gives a confidence and the firm knows okay, this is what our financial strength or our marketing production strength, etc. are. So safety margin, it will be better understood if it is calculated and interpreted. Safety margin, how do we calculate? We have actual sales with us. We have break-even sales with us. It's wrongly written BPP, break-even sales with us. These two figures, we take the difference. We take the difference between these two figures and divide it by actual sales. And in order to get a percentage, you multiply it by 100. So these two figures will always be available with us. What is the level of current sale that the company is at currently? What is the break-even sales? This two we must be, naturally we must have calculated. And actual sales are again the same value. Doing so will give you a percentage. I have just assumed a data that actual sales is 3,000. Actual sales is 3,000 and break-even sales is and break-even sales is 2,500 units. Using the above formula, your answer is 16.67% or say 17%. You have calculated safety margin. You have understood the meaning of safety margin as I just now explained to you, and your calculation is 17%. How do we interpret this 17%? Yes, can anyone interpret this 17%? Our answer is 17%. Formula is given, meaning I have calculated. Arfat, can you interpret? Arfat, are you available?
Yes, sir.
Can you interpret?
No.
No problem. I am here to help you. Anyone else?
So that means we are making 17% more items from the point of no profit and no loss.
Okay. Any other interpretation? It seems to
May
be
I check, sir, this?
Little bit away from the. Anyway, you have made an attempt.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. It means that the firm can afford a decline in sales up to 17%.
Prove it. Firm can afford a declining in sales. Say it in more simple terms would be, if we wish to say the same thing, a little, simple words, that even if the sales of firm declines up to 17% from its current level, whatever level it is selling it at, if the sales volume declines up to 17% from its present level, the firm will still not suffer a loss because it will stay at the break-even level. Or firm is safe up to 17%. It can afford, as you have said before, it can afford a decline. Even if the sales are declined by 17%, the firm will not suffer any loss. So higher the safety margin, better it is for the firm. It gives the firm mathematically a cushion. It will realize that we are safe to this extent. How is it able to do? Only because it was in the position to calculate break even. So it becomes a managerial use of break even. Now let me know if there are questions before I take up the next thing in the same context. Are there questions? No. Then we go on to ask you another question. Suppose this figure is negative. This figure naturally can be negative because you are taking difference between actual sales.
Sir?
Yes, yes.
Excuse me, sir?
Yes.
Sir, you said 17% is there, तो उसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी. अगर 17% से कितना कम होना चाहिए?
नहीं, कम
जब
नहीं.
हमें लॉस होगा.
अगर 17% से 0.1% भी सेल कम हो गई तो फर्म को लॉस होगा.
ओके सर.
अगर 17% की जगह it will suffer a loss. इसलिए it will suffer a loss because its sales will reach lower than break even. अगर के लिए बात करें, कीपिंग द सेम डेटा इन फ्रंट ऑफ अस, अगर फर्म ने 18% सेल किया तो सॉरी, अगर फर्म की सेल्स 20% डिक्लाइन हो गई तो कितनी हो जाएगी फर्म की सेल? बताइए, डेटा आपके सामने है. सपोज द सेल्स लेवल ऑफ द फर्म डिक्लाइंस बाय 20%, तो कितनी सेल डिक्लाइन हो जाएगी?
600 यूनिट.
वेरी ट्रू, 600. अगर 3000 यूनिट सेल कर रही थी फर्म और अब सेल कर रही है 2400 यूनिट, अगर 600 यूनिट कम होगा तो कितनी सेल करेगी? 2400. और ब्रेक इवन लेवल कितना है?
16.67. 2500 सर.
हाँ, 2500. तो फर्म को सेल करने चाहिए 2500 टू ब्रेक इवन, एंड फर्म इज सेलिंग 2400, इट विल सफर लॉस. अगर हम कहते हैं कि फर्म की सेल्स इज डिक्लाइनिंग बाई 15%, बाई 15%, तो कितना डिक्लाइन होगा? 450. भाई इस वक्त 3000 है, isn't it? अगर 450 डिक्लाइन होगा तो हाउ मेनी यूनिट्स विल इट बी सेलिंग? 2550. और उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट है 2500, तो इट इज स्टिल सेलिंग 50 यूनिट्स मोर. Our calculations are correct. Now the question next I ask is, suppose this figure is negative. हमारा ब्रेक इवन हमारा सेफ्टी मार्जिन माइनस में आता है. भाई मैथमेटिकली यू आर कैलकुलेटिंग टू फिगर्स, इट कैन बी नेगेटिव आल्सो. सपोज आवर सेफ्टी मार्जिन इज इन माइनस बाई 20%. क्या मतलब होता है इसका?
कि सर 20% सेल और बढ़ानी पड़ेगी ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट तक आने के लिए.
ओके, वेरी गुड. एनी अदर आंसर?
Sir, the firm is in loss.
Firm is in loss. Okay. Firm is in loss. Okay. इसको अगर हम आप सपोर्ट करें किसी मैथमेटिकल फिगर से तो आपका आंसर और बेटर होगा. Firm
It means it is in loss.
It is in loss and should raise its sales up to at least.
It means it is in loss. The sales are
should be raised at least 20% to break even. Is the correct interpretation? So one of the managerial uses is clear to you. I will move on to the second managerial use, but before I do that, if you have any issue, any problem up to this stage in the topic that we are discussing, you seek a clarification. Although you can seek a clarification, not necessarily in the topic that we are discussing. Anything that comes to your mind related to this course, you can seek a clarification. I should be in a position to answer to you. But if not, I'll move on to the next use, 5.2, change in price or change in cost. When I say change in cost, change in variable cost, change in fixed cost. When I say change in price, change could be increasing the price, change could be decreasing the price. In this managerial use, we will learn what happens if the prices change. If price is increased or price is decreased, what happens if the cost is increased or cost gets decreased, both the cost. So break-even analysis helps a businessman take such decisions also. Suppose we continue with our old example, variable cost 6, sales amount, sales price 10 and fixed cost is 10,000. Suppose that is our base data, and assume sales price are revised to 12 unit. Sorry, 12 per unit. Before you read the given below lines, just stop here and tell me, okay, will this be enough to say, or there will be some more consequences? If sales price are revised to from 10 to 12, what should normally happen? What should normally happen?
Company will have more profit.
Company
The
will have
demand
more.
will be
Yes, demand will be
reduced.
Yes, demand will be reduced. So when we say change in price, we should at the same time simultaneously assume some effect on the demand, which I did in the subsequent lines. Assume that sales price are revised to 12 per unit. Other data remains the same. With revised sales price, sales is likely to go down by 20%. When here I am saying other data remain the same, means variable cost will not change and fixed cost will not change. Is this assumption realistic or wrong? When I am writing other data remains the same, let me write here what is other data. Other data means variable cost and fixed cost. Is this assumption realistic or this assumption is not realistic?
Sir, it is realistic.
Why is it realistic? Because
fixed cost will always remain constant, and
Okay.
variable cost is dependent on the number of units produced for each unit. So even if you, if you're increasing your cost price or sales price, sorry, if you're increasing your sales price, it will only affect your demand and not your current production costs.
if I have heard you correctly, you said that variable cost will be dependent on number of units you produce. Did you say that or not?
No, sir. A variable cost is for each unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So variable cost will not be affected.
No, sir.
Because we are changing the sales price, and when we change the sales price, cost is not at all related to that. Cost is all not related to that. Cost is dependent on what? Number of units we produce. Right. Now in such a scenario, sales is likely to go down by 20% from the current level, which is 3,000. At present, firm is selling 3,000 units. When you change the price upward, when you revise the price from 10 to 12, the effect is that your sales will go down or may go down by 20%. Now, should the firm take this decision or not? In order to arrive at this answer, I have provided you a solution here. Find the current profit in two scenarios. How do we find the current profit in two scenarios? You are selling 3,000 units. So total revenue is 30,000. Total cost is 28,000 and profit is 2,000. So your current profit is, I'm just writing here, your current profit is 2,000. You find out the profit in revised scenario. When you sell for 12, what will be your sales? Follow the same steps. Your profit in the revised scenario is 4,400. So what will be your decision? What will be your decision? Should you increase the price or should you not?
So we can increase the price.
We can increase the price because currently our profit is 2,000, and by affecting this change by increasing the price under the assumptions that we have mentioned here, our profitability is likely to be 4,400 because profit is increasing in the revised scenario. So decision is that we should go ahead and change the price. Now ask me if there are questions. If there is anything that is not clear here, please ask. See, I have just mentioned here, revised profit is 4,400. You also try to work out, take out your pen and paper and work out if this calculation is correct. This is how you will practice and learn. With this question that I am asking you, how many questions have I asked you in this class today? Can somebody repeat? This is the third thing I have asked you to do. That is, make these calculations and ensure that this 4,400 is correctly written here. How would you do it? Simple steps are available in front of you in the just previous 2-3 lines. What others have I asked you to do? Can someone tell me?
So BEP graph.
Say it again.
BEP graph.
BEP chart, break-even chart. Then what else? What else?
So then you have to reverse the value and tell the interpretation.
Okay, anything else? What if your negative? Yes, what if your BEP is negative? So before, soon after your classes are over, just make sure that you write it. Make sure that you make an attempt, put it on a piece of paper, keep it ready.